finishers in each group will move on to the single elimination bracket stage, which will be best of 3 for those games. So looks like we're off.
Yeah, we are off. So we got Jeremy over on the left side, Baddap on the right side of your screen, and both are underway. Jeremy decides to power up in 1-1. Baddap actually foregoing the 1-1 power up. So we'll have to see what his strategy is, if he plays a safe 1-2 or if he goes for a risky 1-2. But Jeremy decided to power up in 1-1 and 1-2, which is generally considered the safer strategy.
Yeah, and I'm not really familiar with Baddap's strats here. I don't know if you run small only or small fire or big fire, so we'll see. So he's skipping the power up here. So if he's going to pick up some, he'll probably pick them up in 1-3 and 1-4.
Yeah, so he'll probably, if he powers up, it'll be in 1-3 and 1-4, or maybe 1-3 and then small fire, Mario. We'll see. But he does do some safe strategies here in 1-2. He kicked the Koopa Shell, as you saw, and he makes it through. Meanwhile, Jeremy, not too far behind. Of course, he's going to be a little bit further behind because he's been grabbing up the power-ups while Baddap has not been grabbing the power-ups. But that'll shift itself once Baddap starts to grab the power-ups. I think Jeremy will shift back into the lead. So, right now, we are going into 1-3. Jeremy's just going to run straight on through, and we'll see if Baddap grabs this mushroom here.
Looks like he, yeah. So it looks like he's going to pick them up in 1-3 and 1-4. Unless he's going, well, he could go for small fire. Like I said, I don't know exactly the strats, but we will find out here shortly.
Yeah, so they are pretty much neck and neck going into the castle, heading into 1-4. So this is where we're going to see if Baddap goes with big fire or small fire. There's a power up you can grab early on in 1-4 here, and he does decide to get it. And nicely done, and he should have some good fire bars here as well. So both of them going with big fire strategies, just a little bit different power-up routes. And the reason Jeremy is ahead is mainly because Baddap played a bit of a safe 1-2, but at this point, you know, they're separated by a couple seconds at most. So anybody's race heading into World 2.
Absolutely. So both players going with fire strats here. They'll be able to shoot most of the enemies out of the way on this level. Makes it a little bit easier. Some players have a variety of different routes. Jeremy takes a little bit of a lower route there, while Baddap takes a top route there in the middle of the stage. So we'll see what Jeremy gets. He gets a 345, and Baddap is going to get the same.
All square through 2-1 as far as that individual level goes. Nicely done by both, getting the perfect 345. So now we will go into our first water section. Pretty much here, you just want to swim and not get hit. There are a couple bottlenecks and so forth that can make it kind of tight, but having fire definitely helps. And both of them are big fire. So we'll see if they choose to use fire or if they choose to kind of do the duck swim, the crouch swim, and that'll turn them into basically a small Mario where they won't use fire. But it looks like both are going with fire strats. We didn't see either of them do the crouch swim.
Looking pretty good so far. Haven't seen any crazy bottlenecks up to this point. Sometimes it gives you pretty favorable patterns, and then sometimes you can get some really nasty ones, but looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, both of them getting really clean patterns and perfect 316s on the swim. So great swims by both players, yeah. So I think this tournament's super cool. Last year we had a double elimination format. As you mentioned, this year we got a group stage format, but we also just have a lot of new runners that we didn't see in last year's tournament, and Baddap being one of those. So it's nice to get a lot of competition against new players. And the other great thing is everybody's guaranteed at least 3 matches this time instead of at least 2 before we go into the knockout stages. So it's a really cool format, gives more people a chance to play and also a chance to play a bunch of different people. So hopefully you guys like the format this year a little bit better than last year. We looked at your feedback and we tried to make some changes here. So hopefully it's good. But we are all square through 2-3 heading into 2-4. Jeremy maintains that couple second lead.
Yeah, 2-4, pretty straightforward stage. The little elevator section here could be a little tricky if you slow down there, but looks like both of them, no problem with that. Jeremy's going to slide under Bowser, and no, and Baddap looks like he took a hit there to the Bowser's fireball, so he's going to have to pick up his power-ups again. That was unfortunate. But
Yeah.
aside from that, pretty clean execution through 2-4 for both of them.
Definitely. He got that middle fireball, and I don't think he quite got the duck in time, or maybe he released the crouching Mario a little too early. He looked like he tried to go for the crouch under the fire, and obviously didn't try to go over it there. But unfortunately took a hit there. So we're in 3-1, and we'll see what his power-up strategy is. He's actually not going to power up here in 3-1. Jeremy is clean through 3-1.
Oh no, he got a 3 at the end of the timer at the end of 3-1, so he's going to get 3 fireworks here. So it's going to cost him a little more time here. I feel he's probably going to pick up a mushroom in 3-2 and a flower in 3-3 is what I would anticipate at this point.
Certainly, and there are definitely a lot of opportunities for power-ups in World 3, thankfully. Even in 3-4, there's one that isn't too difficult to get as well. But he does decide to go for 3-2, and it looks like we'll also go for the 3-3 power-up, as you mentioned. Meanwhile, Jeremy keeping it clean through World 3 so far. Perfect World 3 so far for him. And he is into 3-3. One of the easier levels in the speedrun. Not too much should get in the way in 3-3, especially when you have fire. So Jeremy will probably power on through, and I think we'll see Baddap probably grab the fire flower here.
And yep, that's what he's doing. So back to full power-ups here. So you have that ready for 3-4. Jeremy going into 3-4. The Potaboos will vary on this one, unless you're actually going by the spreadsheet and you actually know what patterns you're going to get. So a lot of players will actually hesitate in a few places here just to make sure that they have. You saw him. Oh no! Oh, and he jumped too early. He jumped too early, and I think he bonked the ceiling and didn't quite make the jump there. So back to the beginning of 3-4 for Jeremy. That's an unfortunate thing to happen there.
Yeah, it looked like he may have been on the spreadsheet because he knew what to do on that first Potaboo, and then I don't know if he decided to play it safer, had a bad pattern, and decided to slow down and try to go over the Potaboos, but he did jump early, hit his head on the ceiling, took a hit, and then also went in the lava. So not only did he take the death in the lava, which would have killed him even without taking the hit, but he also took the hit, which cost him some power-up time. So that is going to be a lead change there. And Baddap is now partway through 4-1 as Big Fire, so he doesn't even need to power up, whereas Jeremy's kind of at the beginning of 4-1 and hasn't fully powered up yet, so he's going to have to grab another power-up somewhere else as well. Probably in 4-2, there's a second power-up in 4-1 that's pretty slow to get, so I think he's going to go for power-up in 4-2.
Yeah, the second one of 4-1 is you kind of have to go a little bit and then go back to the left. Oh, no. You have to go back to the left a little bit and kind of loop around to pick up that power-up. So there's definitely faster ones to pick up here. So he may pick up the first one in 4-2.
Yeah, not only do you have to loop around to pick it up, there's also the Spinies that could get in the way and be a little bit treacherous with Lakitu throwing them for that second power-up. So I think it's the right decision to go for 4-2, and he does indeed grab this first power-up here. And he is back to Big Fire Mario, but not quite a full level behind, but certainly a lead change here. And based off of PB, this is, probably the unexpected result at this point in the race.
And you saw both players, each one of them took a different route through 4-2. Baddap took the top route where you run along the top for the majority of the level. And Jeremy actually took the bottom route. If you do both of them, have clean execution for both of them, they're both the same speed to get through there. It's more of a personal preference. Yeah,
and Baddap did have a little bit of a bonk in 4-3, so that'll cost him probably 2 frame rules, because there's a very tight frame rule you can get that Jeremy is on track to get here, and then the extra frame rule that he bonked as well, so he's probably going to lose 2 frame rules here to Jeremy, but I couldn't quite tell if Jeremy got the sky boots or not. I don't think he did. We'll be able to tell from the coin flash here at the end. But no, I don't think he did. So he had a chance to make up 2 frame rules on Baddap, but he only made up 1 there.
So we'll see how Baddap deals with Bowser here. This one's kind of tricky. You've got the Potaboo, the Firebar, and then Bowser. You don't know exactly which way he's gonna jump on that one. So that's one of the more tricky ones to have to deal with in this run.
Definitely one of the trickier Bowsers, and Jeremy gets a Bowser that was turn Bowser and kind of started to approach him, but he got the 5 fireballs off just in time before he took a hit. So nicely done on the 4-4 Bowser there for Jeremy. Baddap, meanwhile, into World 5, this is where we say the run really starts to get kind of crazy, and you could potentially see more lead changes at this point in time because World 5 is tough. 5-1's kind of the easiest part of all of World 5.
Yeah. Baddap currently with roughly about a half a level lead. You've got this early cannon here in 5-2, which sometimes shoots a bullet. We'll see how he deals with that. It shot, but he ducked and managed to avoid that. So nice job by Baddap avoiding the bullet bill there.
Yeah, he will have to make sure he doesn't get a 6 on the timer at the end of this. He's probably on pace to get a 5. Well, now with that extra bonk, he's probably on pace for a 4 or a 3, but if you do slow down a little bit, you could potentially get a 6 on the timer, but Baddap struggling a little bit through the level. 347 would be optimal. We got a 341, so that's about 2 seconds lost through that level, give or take just a little bit, whereas Jeremy cleaned through 5-2 perfectly.
Yeah, so Jeremy's going to make up a little bit of time here with a nice clean 5-2. 5-3 is one of these pretty tricky levels because if you don't know where the bullet bills are going to be, some of them can land right in your path. So it's sometimes a very terrifying level.
Baddap had 2 interesting bills that he dealt with nicely, squished them both. Also, you see both the players stomp the Goomba there. That's because if you don't stomp that Goomba, there will be a sprite overload, and there's a second platform that will not appear. So Baddap actually is going to challenge the fire bars here, and he gets good fire bars. Interesting. I didn't see a slowdown strat there at the beginning for him.
No, I didn't see that either. I saw him hesitate just a little bit in the little corridor there, but that was pretty much it. So he got a 262. He unfortunately did take a hit there toward the end, but he got through there pretty quickly. Jeremy slides under Bowser and takes him out with the fireball, so we're on the World 6 for both of them.
Yeah, this will tighten right back up. He's gonna take a hit to the spiny. He went for the faster mushroom grab strat. There is a little bit slower one, but that's much safer. And he went for the faster grab strat, and it didn't pay off for him there. He's gonna skip the second power up, so Baddap maintains the lead, and he gets 6 fireworks now. So Jeremy gonna close right up, and actually this could be almost tied after the fireworks. So Baddap will be at the disadvantage though because he does not have fire for 6-2, which is Piranha Plant City.
Yeah, this is a very difficult level to do without fire, quickly anyway. Some of the plants do despawn in the pipes, but still, you see him having to wait here a little bit on some of them. He's not going super risky with that, so Jeremy will probably really close this up here. Since he's got fire and he knows the strats to get through 6-2 pretty quickly. Ooh, that was kind of scary.
Very scary.
There.
But you can tell Baddap has practiced. He's practiced 6-2 is small.
Yeah, Jeremy just closed right up. Only a few seconds between them now.
Certainly, and Jeremy will have the advantage if this thing goes even without Baddap making any mistakes, just because Jeremy will be able to fire things out that Baddap can't, and also he'll gain time on the Bowsers because it is faster to actually kill Bowser with fire because you don't have to wait on the animation of the bridge collapsing and Bowser falling into the lava. So that's like a 3.5 second swing right there in Jeremy's favor as well.
So it looks like Baddap may be trying to do 6-4 small since he didn't stop for a power-up. He might pick it up. Oh! And unfortunately, he got the high Podoboo there and he tried to jump over it, and unfortunately that did not pay off for him. So that will put Jeremy back into the lead.
Yep, Jeremy is back in the lead. Really nice Bowser kill. That was super fast, and he didn't get any lag there either. Baddap dodging through the fire bars, very close there. But he makes it through 6-4 on the second try, and he will still need to potentially power up in 7-1 as well, because there can be some scary Hammer Brothers in 7-1.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A little bit in Baddap's favor. Bowser did jump forward for him, so that did save him a little time, so he didn't have to wait on Bowser there. So that was fortunate for him on that. So we'll see if he will pick up both power-ups in 7-1. Well, he already missed one.
Yeah, he skipped the first one. And he gets favorable Hammer Bros, so He's going small
he's
only.
going small.
Yep. All right, so 7-2 is a repeat of 2-2, but there's even more of the bloopers and cheeps, so it creates the potential for more bottlenecks, and there's always the dreaded bad blooper at the end of 7-2 who can head to the right and get in the way of the pipe and cost you some time there. So we'll have to watch for both of these runners to see what happens with these enemy patterns.
Looking pretty good so far. Jeremy's shooting a few out of the way. And Baddap, of course, doesn't have that option, so he's just got to be careful of where he swims here. Jeremy decides to wait on the blooper there at the end just to play it safe. This is definitely a place where you do not want to lose fire because you only have one more power up and it's in 7-3, so you can't have fire until the earliest would be 8-2.
Baddap barely dodges a cheap all the way up at the top of the water there. Great timing on that swim to get over the cheap. When you get a cheap up there, it can be kind of treacherous because Mario bounces off the top of the water pretty quickly, and those can be pretty tough, but he did well there. Jeremy going to be able to shoot all of these turtles and, Koopas and cheeps out of the way. So, it's just a rehash of 2-3, but again, more cheeps, and also this time they add Koopas into the level. Both the red Koopas and the green, para Koopas there. So, both players clean through 7-3 at this point, and about a half a level separates the two, but Jeremy has the big advantage being able to potentially use fire in World 8.
Yeah, it's still definitely not over. Just a mistake or two can completely turn this around. So it is not definitely over yet. Not a whole lot to 7-4. You just got to take the correct route through the level. There aren't really any enemies until you get to Bowser at the end, except for the fire bar there. So just don't bonk on the ceiling too much, and you should be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Both players know the route, so it's just about making sure you don't get any bonks or anything like that. And both players clean through World 7. They're into World 8. Jeremy has the Fire Flower in 8-1. This is going to be very comfortable for him because, it's just so much easier to shoot these Piranha Plants out of the way. You don't have to do anything like pipe jumps or wait on the Piranha Plants. We'll see if Baddap goes for the pipe jumps here as small only. Now, he's going to play a little bit safer strategy. I think that's smart for a race. Even though he's behind, he's still relying on Jeremy to make a mistake either way. So don't put yourself in an even worse position. So just try to get through World 8 as best as you can. There's still spots that could potentially trip up Jeremy. The end of 8-2 can be pretty tricky. And then, of course, if you do happen to take a hit in 8-2, 8-3 can be really tough with the Hammer Brothers. So not over at all by any means. But Jeremy feeling pretty comfortable right now, I would think, if he knows where Baddap is.
Yep. Baddap had a pretty good run through 8-1. He had to slow down just a little bit to avoid the fireworks there, but so he ended up with a 195, which a small only and not going for the pipe jumps is a pretty good time for 8-1. Jeremy looking like he's pretty comfortable right now. He's made it through 8-2, so yeah, it looks like he's definitely in his groove at this point. Baddap still not electing to pick up the mushroom there, so it looks like he's probably going to do 8-3 small and take the chance on the Hammer Bros there.
Will he go for the PBG? No. And Jeremy, the only thing he's really trying to avoid at this point is a rogue Hammer Bro. There can be kind of a trolly Hammer Bro in this gauntlet here that kind of falls on your face. That's the only one he has to really avoid, but he doesn't get it, so he didn't get the rogue Hammer Bro, and he completes 8-3 with the 242. You don't want to get the 243 and get the fireworks there, so well done by Jeremy. And Baddap going at it small only for 8-3.
Let's see how it does with the gauntlet of Hammer Bros here. First two is good, and nice job. He managed to make it through all of them unscathed there.
Jeremy coming up to the wall jump here. He's doing the 2-frame wall jump setup, so he has 2 frames to hit that jump right there. Well done by Jeremy. And now he's in the turnaround room. This is a wrong warp. This isn't the intended pipe you're supposed to go down to get to the water, but you scroll the screen far enough to trick the game into thinking you're going into the next pipe, and then you go back to this pipe because it's closer, and you go into this water section here. This is the second to last room of the game.
See if Baddap goes for the wall jump here. He gets it. Backwards wall jump. Very nice.
Jeremy with a perfect water. Nicely done using that crouch swim as we talked about earlier. And he has a time of 1941.
So GG's to Jeremy.
Yeah, he exactly matched Baddap's PB. I think that's interesting. And Baddap's having a good run, just 15, 20 seconds behind his own PB. Yeah. So really nice race from both players here.
Just barely over 20 minutes for him. So good run by Baddap as well.
Yeah, excellent runs by both players. So Jeremy will score the win here. And what we should say is, again, with the group stages, the two best records at the end of the group stage will move on to the knockout rounds. So Baddap is not done. He's still got 2 more matches. And if there are tiebreakers, you want to post the lowest possible combined time. So it's important, even if you're a runner and listening here, it's important to try to finish your run out as quickly as possible, because there's still the potential for tiebreakers, and that tiebreaker is lowest combined time. So don't give up. If you find yourself behind or taking a hit in your first race, there's still plenty more, and anything can happen in the group stages. So make sure to power on through. And Baddap did a great job of that, finishing up with a very strong 20:02. Looks like we're going to get Jeremy up in here for an interview in just a little bit. But GG's to both runners. Really nice race.
Yep, I think, Jeremy, he's in the waiting room there, so he should be joining us in just a moment. We'll get his thoughts on his race here and what he's looking forward to for his other races. I don't know if Baddap will be joining us or not, but we shall see about that as well.
And we have Jeremy here. He just needs to unmute himself. So there we are. Jeremy, congratulations on the win in the first of your group stages. You got a 1941 on your live split Baddap with a 20:02. So pretty close race between the two of you. A couple lead changes. Walk us through your race.
Yeah, thank you. That was a very interesting race.
Yeah, it was a good one.
3-4. I don't know. I was supposed to safe out the Poto boost, right? And I tried to, but I just went way too fast. And I mean, aside from that, that would have been probably a low 19-1x without that. So, but yeah, beyond 3-4, it was a pretty good run actually.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, in 3-4, it looks like you jumped a little too early and bonked into the ceiling there, and didn't quite make the jump there. It's what it looked like on my screen. But
yeah.
Aside from that, yeah, that was a very solid run.
Thank you.
Jeremy, were you? We were talking, going into 3-4. Obviously, you were on a pretty good pace through there as well. You had a really clean World 2 and clean World 1. So, and of course, the beginning of 3 as well. Were you using a spreadsheet at that point in time in 3-4? And did you know the pattern and planning on, or just going safe strats regardless, or what?
So my plan is to always safe things out, unless I'm going against basically only GTAs, because he'll 1906 against me. So I just don't challenge anything, and it usually works out. I can get low 19-1x's relatively easily. It's just I wasn't thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. Certainly, it's just one of those things where you make one little mistake and it costs you some time, but you recovered very well. I mean, getting the power-ups in 4-1 and 4-2, and from that point forward, you're just blasting your way through there. Wanted to talk about, your group here. So you've got Baddap, you've got LK, and the Call. So a pretty tough group. I mean, Baddap, his PB is 1941, which is the time you got, and he came within 20 seconds of that, which is really good for a race. But you've also got the Call and LK, who both have made very deep runs in this tournament. How are you feeling about your group?
I'm not sure how much the Cole has been playing recently, but I think he has like a 1912 or something, or he used to, somewhere around there. So I'm kind of concerned about that one. And LK he's very consistent. I'm not kind of scared about that one too.
Yeah, you guys have a very interesting group, and there aren't, the way the draw worked out, there's a lot of tough groups. Pretty much everybody's going to have a challenge. So I think it's a interesting format. What do you think about the format this year versus the double elimination?
It's nice. I don't know if I prefer it, but I'm indifferent.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see everybody's thoughts. It guarantees everybody at least 3 matches instead of at least 2. Shake it up a little bit and see how things are. Rupert, do you have any other questions here for Jeremy?
Not in particular. I guess. Well, also real quickly and stuff as far as the format change too. One of the things with the format change is to try to. It's pretty much inevitable when you do a fairly large double elimination tournament that there's several weeks that go by that very little is going on, and it just kind of sort of gets into a lull there in probably the second half of the whole tournament, and you've got all the people in the winners bracket waiting for the bottom bracket to go through and all that. So hopefully this new format, if everyone likes it, will kind of keep things interesting and not have like the huge lulls in it and so forth. So that's kind of part of the reasoning before or why I'm doing that. And of course, if we continue with that, we may make a few changes and so forth. But we'll see. We'll see what everybody thinks at the end of it. But I think you pretty much asked Jeremy all the questions I was going to have anyway. So.
Yeah, certainly. All right. Well, Jeremy, GG's once again. Congrats on the win, and we're looking forward to the rest of your matches in this tournament.
Yep. GG's to Baddap, and thank you for commentary.
Absolutely. So that is going to do it for today's race. Wanted to talk a little bit about the schedule real quick. I'm getting a little bit tongue-tied there, but we do have a lot of races up and coming. So this is the race for tonight, and then we've got 3 on Friday, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. We've got Mamaru versus JS Carbo. 7 p.m. Eastern, we've got Kaku versus TJK. And then, Jeremy, you're racing again on Friday at 9 p.m. versus LK. So 3 races Friday, 3 on Saturday, 1 on Monday so far on the schedule, and I'm sure plenty more to come. So make sure to join us on the Speed Gaming family of networks, Speed Gaming 1 all the way up through 6, I think it is, and on different languages as well. So make sure also to check out the Speed Gaming schedule. They've got all sorts of things going on at various different times. We want to thank them again for hosting this tournament again this year. They've been partnering with us for many years in a row. So thank you again to Speed Gaming. And that is going to do it for this episode. For Rupert83, I am Takate. We will catch you all on Friday for a triple dip of races. Until then, have a great night, everyone.